Shalom, loved ones. My name is Troy Cady, and I invite you to join me now as I offer midday prayers with PlayWell Communities. PlayWell is a faith network of those who are learning to live by the unforced rhythms of grace. To help us keep time to the rhythm of God's heartbeat and the movement of God's love, we like to pause to pray at various times throughout the day when we are able. In today's time of prayer, I will offer a space for us to reflect on a wonderful question that comes from the book Surrender to Love by Dr. David G. Benner. It's a question that hits right at the core of the very character and the nature of God, and how we are invited to receive that goodness. Well, with that, let's get ready. We light this candle as a reminder that Christ, the light of the world, is present with us. In Matthew chapter 11, Jesus says, "Come to me, get away with me, and you'll recover your life. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace." In the middle of the day, we return to you, Jesus, our center. In you we live and move and have our being. Like parched souls searching for a spring, we thirst for you and your ways. With joy we draw water from the wells of your salvation. Let's take some moments of silence now to just rest, breathe, just be present. Join me in this confession, the life of the beloved. I believe that I am God's beloved child. I am learning to let God's love fill my heart, to let it shape my life. So I may be just who God has made me to be. Nothing more and nothing less. That I may abide in love and share God's love with all that I am. Amen. Here are some wonderful reflections on the character of God and the invitation for us to receive all of God's goodness. It comes from a nice book called Surrender to Love by Dr. David G. Benner. And this excerpt is from chapter 1 called It All Begins with Love. Dr. Benner writes, "Take a moment and try a simple exercise. The results will tell you a great deal about the nature of your spiritual journey. Imagine God thinking about you. What do you assume God feels when you come to mind?" And take some moments of silence now to do just that. Imagine God thinking about you. What do you assume God feels when you come to mind? Dr. Benner continues, "When I ask people to do this, a surprising number of people say that the first thing they assume God feels is disappointment. Others assume that God feels anger. In both cases, these people are convinced that it is their sin that first catches God's attention. I think they are wrong. And I think the consequences of such a view of God are enormous. Regardless of what you have come to believe about God based on your life experience, the truth is that when God thinks of you, love swells in his heart and a smile comes to his face. God bursts with love for humans. He is far from being emotionally uninvolved with his creation. God's bias toward us is strong, persistent, and positive. The Christian God chooses to be known as love, and that love pervades every aspect of God's relationship with us." Let's take some time to just savor that life-giving truth. God's heart swells with love when God thinks of us, and a smile comes to God's face. Let's take that truth deep into your heart. Amen. And here's a prayer for the work that we do throughout the week and throughout this day. We commit to you the work that is done and the work that is yet undone. May your beauty rest upon us, Lady Wisdom. We trust you will complete the incomplete. We believe you will finish what you started. May we meet you on the road with us, Brother Jesus. As we labor, be our resting place. Please make our work restful and our rest fruitful. May we remain present to your presence, Great Spirit. And now receive this blessing that was written by Teresa de Avila. Let nothing disturb you, nothing affright you. All things are passing. God never changes. Patient endurance attains to all things. Whom God possesses, in nothing is wanting. Alone God suffices. Amen. Well, thank you for joining me today in Midday Prayers with PlayWell Communities. I hope you have a good start to your week, good rest of the day. And above all, be loved, because you are beloved.